Welcome home. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. Yes, it is football season. If you're watching, I'm wearing my purple here. I do not have the Raven scratch offs yet, but I will have them soon. They have the Gold Rush Sevens doublers. What a month we have ahead here with whether it's orange or purple or whether it's playoffs in October and these huge football games going on all month. We are getting all around the state, really. 26 oysters in 26 days, 26 ways. All of it brought to you by our friends at Curio Wellness in conjunction with our friends at Liberty Pure Solutions, keeping my water clean because we have well water here. And that's what the oysters do to the bay. They keep the bay clean so we can eat crab cakes on the crab cake tour. So we're going to be doing that at Coco's this week. We're going to be at Cooper's next Friday, the 13th. It's going to be good luck because I got Dave Sheinin from the Washington Post stopping by and joining me, as well as Chad Wiesling. We're going to be talking some sports there, talking some oysters there, talking about where they come from. All of that stuff's going to be happening on the 26th. I'm going to have real oyster farmers on the 26th down at the B&O Railroad Museum. So get out. Check it out. It all starts with my cousin, John Shields, over at Gertrude's this week. MD Oyster Tour is the hashtag on that. It is now our 26th anniversary. I have promised Wendy Bronfein of Curio Wellness and Foreign Daughter that I'm going to have the oyster crab 26th. It's not going to be a cupcake. We just decided it's going to be a crab and an oyster. And I'm this close to making it official. And our 26th anniversary will also be brought to you by you because you brought our 25th anniversary. It went pretty well. It was a pretty good year. But it's over now. And Labor Day's over. We got football, concerts, Pearl Jam, Springsteen, Stay. All this stuff's going on since we got together. And end of summer, I got a tan. We started football season, and I missed a couple of pretty good concerts. I know.
Yeah, I think it's really exciting where we've this time of year. We got Ravens back and Orioles. I'm still holding out. I was there the other day for that 13-3. That was great. Yeah, I'm doing Pearl Jam too. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I got Pearl Jam tickets last week, so there's maybe this much of a chance Jeff Amen's going to come. Maybe I hit Nils. I hit all the rock stars I know all in the same week because they're all here.
Oh, that's
Styx,
cool.
Nils Lofgren. I'm just hoping something comes through. Just any of these guys get back. But if I get to go to the show, I'm good like that. I missed Usher. I was out of town. My wife was like, "How much?" Usher, 300 doing that. But we've had a nice little concert summer. I know we're getting into fall, and I know everything you're doing. We always talk about the educational part of what we do here in regard to what you do. And but then there's the fun part of fall. And I must ask because, I'm starting the new Royal Farms ads here, and it's pumpkin, 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 and all that. And I'm getting all the apple spice. I like eating this time of year. I'm a little sad about the peach stuff going away. I got to be in the fresh corn. But it is a really kind of a fun time of year. And I know we talk flavored stuff with you so much and the things that you do. This is where you really get to put this to test because you have nice flavors in all of your products. Pumpkin and apple and spice. This eggnog. You got an eggnog yet? Too early.
No eggnog. But we do have a fireball chew, which when it is eggnog season, I actually like the traditional form that the liquor version of fireball. Love that
Sort of
with
like
some
hot
eggnog.
cinnamon, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the fireball chew is essentially a chew that has a hot cinnamon flavor. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, fall is a good time to be. The other day, I was in Wise. They had a chantilly icing, and I'm like, what are these? They're making me Google stuff to see what it tastes like. But I do know what pumpkin and spice tastes. It's been a couple weeks since we got together. More than I think your name's on a bunch of stuff, and I got living classrooms and maritime magic coming up in a couple of weeks, and I know I want to talk about that, and we're going to do that next week. But just in a general sense of I've got points now on my app, and you said to me the whole time the points because you teach me how to do these things, and this is kind of a new summer thing. I have 367, 40 Happy Eddie, and 30 cat. So I have a bunch of points, and you keep saying to me, I can get good stuff. And I thought, I busted this one out. This is a couple years old. It barely fits me. It's got a little weathered feel to it. But you guys do fun things. I saw your partners down at Mako last month, the folks that make a whole bunch of your Maryland thing, that good looking piece that you have. You're doing some really cool stuff when people come in the shop in Timonium at Foreign Daughter to swag them out a little bit here next couple weeks.
Yeah, well, there's two ways also for the swag. So One is what you're talking about, the Curio rewards, scanning the QR code on all of your products and collecting points for them. The other is at our dispensaries, whether it's in Timonium at Far and Daughter or Farm Kent up in Elkton. Both of those stores, you collect points when you shop. So if you open up the app, if you use like the Far and Daughter app for shopping, or you go online, you can see your point count there. So like I've got like I'm a squirrel. I've got like 7,000 points at Far and Daughter to use.
Hold on. I only have three, but mine looks
That's your
different.
Curio rewards.
Ah,
That's
so
when
you're teaching me. Okay, all
yeah.
right.
So so the store side, you can turn it in and use it off, like take money off your purchase, to put it towards a pre-roll. The Curio reward side, where you're scanning products that you bought regardless of where you bought them, that's all different kinds of swag and merch. But I mean, I would say now that it's fall and you talked about like those flavors, there's the Fuse brand that we make, which is a 1 gram disposable kind of sleek discreet vape unit that has a pumpkin spice coming out soon. The Edie Parker line that we also make has kind of these little small, fits nicely in your pocket disposable vapes that are they have candied apple and peppermint hot chocolate, lemon Danish. So really getting into that holiday season. And then our friend Happy Eddie.
I was gonna say, how's he doing? I mean, because
He's
it's football. I'm wearing purple. I threatened that he would have to come back in the fall and talk about this.
for
And
sure.
well, it's gonna be a good luck thing. You let him know if the week he comes on, they lose, he can't come back until the end of the season. So and it's a tough month for that because the Ravens are just the beginning of the season is going to be kind of crazy for them next couple of weeks. But what's Eddie up to? He's threatened to come have a crab cake with me, actually, the last time we got together. So you should bring him up here to do that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, when he comes, you guys should talk about his collaboration with Caviar. So Caviar are the infused pre-rolls that we produce, and we connected Happy Eddie brand and Caviar brand. And so now they are going to be an exclusive offering of that product. So that's really exciting. That's coming out real soon.
Wendy Bronfein is our guest. She is our chief cannabis officer here. She is the chief brand officer for all things at Curio Wellness and Far and Daughter. And you see them around town trying to educate folks here and all the stuff that we do. My Move product, I went to reach for it a minute ago in the segment, and my wife took the bomb. I don't like the bomb's gone. So all I have is the gel because neither one of us love the gel. We're bomb people. I can only tell you we've bought many of the bombs, but not the gels. But I went on vacay last week and did a lot of yoga, just literally a lot of outdoor sort of sun yoga. And this as an aftercare product for me. We talk so much about smoking this and eating that and like all that. Your family's background was in the real pharmaceutical business and neighbor care and providing all sorts of pills for this and rubs for that. This has become like a real go-to product for me. And I think I talk about it 3 out of every 4 times we get together
Yes.
because I think this is the one thing for me to say this has nothing to do with anything you've ever associated with reefer madness or anything you've ever associated with any of the stigmas that may be there, that there are things inside of this plant that help people every single day. And I guess that's really at the crux of what you're trying to do as a company. What I'm trying to do as really an educational person to take something that was illicit all of my life as a 55-year-old and say, how are we using what you would always say are the tools in the bag and and not using opioids, not using these other kinds of things, not using things that smell bad too, like my dad with the Exorbine Jr. and the Bengay and all that. This is a product that feels good and it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge proponent of the topicals. I'm almost like the dad in My Big Fat Greek Wedding, who's like, put Windex on it. Like that's how I'm like, put some balm on it. Anything that happens, put some balm on it. It makes it better. I mean, I do the same thing. Like I use it after any sort of exercise where I feel like, oh, that workout's going to make me sore, and it really like either dramatically minimizes or totally removes any kind of follow along of that, like that DOMS issue of the delayed muscle pain. and I can't say enough good things. And yeah, to your point, it's like there's no high, right? It's just like you said, it's like really good Bengay. You're just making inflammation and muscle aches and pains feel better, and you can, rub it anywhere on you.
Well, I know you guys were big into this with Baltimore running at one point because it is. We speak from an athletic standpoint. I mean, I don't feel like in any way I'm an athlete when I'm at Planet Fitness, but I do feel the aches. My wife did a workout the other day. Oh my God, she couldn't move, and but I think for real athletes, for runners, for people that do even just walking in the woods, but grabbing groceries for crying out loud, it's nice to have something like that laying around that you can use that you can rely on. And I've been the 2 years since I think I've started using it, and I mean there's no 5 days a week I use it, and certainly after showers and after a real workout, and it really helps me in the middle of the night to sleep. I wake up feeling a lot better having it on me.
Yeah. And I mean, I like, even when it's not a workout thing, if it's like, oh, like, it's like, yeah, I sat at the computer too long and weird, and the shoulders and the everything, like, and anything that's achy, I find it's very useful in getting rid of that. I know a lot of like golfers, tennis and pickleball people keep them in their bags, like joint pain.
Pickleball. Everybody's playing pickleball but me.
Me
I
too.
I got offered to play I'm on vacation. Guy comes up and says, "Hey, we need another guy for pickleball over." And I'm like, "I think you got the wrong guy." I mean, I don't know why he thought I would. I mean, I do look really athletic and like all that, and I played a lot of tennis, but my body doesn't let that. I mean, the golf swing, I see these guys in the batting cages, and I think, every day people are out doing stuff a little more, maybe not more strenuous than my hot yoga, but certainly much more lending itself to being like that hurt. I try to do things that don't hurt, so therefore, or get me hurt. But because
Yeah.
I'm old and I'm falling apart and I've had surgeries and all that stuff. But I think for people that are on the go and younger folks and folks that really do, I see it when I drive around, really doing things like pickleball, which you play pickleball?
I do not. I
Yeah.
have a desire to, but I don't have time.
Well, your kid's too busy trying to get the Gunnar Henderson haircut out. Do you still have the orange, or are you just putting the orange away at Foreign Daughter for the month? Because you got to have the orange out now. I mean, this is
No,
this
we
is a really
had
weird time that these teams are taking our attention in this way. It's wonderful. It's why they're here, quite frankly.
Yeah, we have, I think even this week they were still offering the orange and black t-shirt giveaways this week with purchases. Yeah. Because it's, it could, let's get to those playoffs. Let's make this happen. It could be really exciting.
I always wonder if my mom were alive, if she saw my "I'm a blunt person" shirt, how much she would love that. But I'm going to put that shirt away for a month. I'm either going to go purple when they win and you bring Happy Eddie on, or I'm going to go orange because they really can't lose till October. You know what I mean? They're still in this thing. We got the Yankees 2 weeks from now. Last thing for you, and I'll let you talk a little bit more about this specific issue next week. But you've come on with James Bond from Living Classrooms. You came on a couple Super Bowl back in February, which we're planning again in February to talk about charities and talk about the community. Your name's going to be on that thing, but you're kind of a newish business, and the stigmas and legalities and all of those kinds of things. Just in a general sense, to try to be involved in the community and do good things. Nobody does better work than Living Classrooms, and I have been involved. Been really fortunate enough that when Brian Billick came to Baltimore 26 years ago, he became involved, and it got me involved from the very, very get-go. And I remember the old building. I remember all of that about what they grow there. But I know this is important to you and your family.
Yeah, so I mean, we have giving back is part of our value set, and something we've done since we started, and something we've done in any other business we've ever been in. And when we got to know Living Classroom even better than we already knew them, kind of just in general as Baltimoreans, a couple years ago, we decided that we were going to kind of make them our marquee philanthropic partners. We give to a lot of different organizations, but we were going to kind of make a substantial gift with them and have an ongoing relationship. And so I've joined their board, which has been really wonderful, and is made up of a lot of great Baltimoreans. But the work that they do really touches all of kind of key areas for us. They do serve the Washington community as well, but I think a lot of us think of them as really many of their initiatives supporting Baltimore. And so the way that they give back to the city, the centers that they have to bring communities together, the schools that they have for children, the robust workforce development things that they do, whether it's related to the shipyard, they have a manufacturing area, they have a healthcare services area where they've literally created like environments where people can train in what it would be like to be in the field in these like kind of mini setups. It's very cool. And I think they just do really amazing work to change the trajectory of people's lives in our city.
I can't agree with you more. In over 25 years, I could probably do an hour without you, without James, to someone else to tell them about all the things I've seen and experienced on the boats, down at the harbor, with kids. I think of kids, not just troubled kids, but just kids, learning kids, right? All of that, but putting kids up on the Constellation overnight downtown where my wife and I be taking a walk when we lived at the harbor and see it. And we're like, that's living classrooms, living classrooms. Their work, it's not just something you put your name on. And next week I'll talk about how you met your hubby at Maritime Magic. I'm trying to think of, I think I met John Waters at Maritime Magic once, but I didn't meet my wife there. I've taken my wife to Maritime Magic, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, which is one of the really special nights in Baltimore. Brian Billick, my partner's talked about it for years and years, and a lot of cool people are involved in it. Martin Knott, a whole bunch of people I know over the coming weeks, and I think I'm having James Piper Bond on next week as well. So we will talk more about that. Wendy joins us every week. She's our chief cannabis officer or chief brand officer at Curio Wellness and Far and Daughter. Sometimes they're rocking and rolling. Sometimes they're at the Orioles games. How you feeling about the Orioles? I mean, I just got to throw a little bit of sports in. The pitching, the injuries, all. I'm trying to be like Oriole positive this month and just say they're going to get Rodriguez. They're going to get the pitching back. They're going to figure, and the bats are either going to be there or not in October. If they don't hit the ball in October, they're going to go home. I'm worried about the bullpen, but I think in a general sense, they get as good a chance as anybody else next month. There's no super teams. So I am bullish that they're going to play some baseball in October. And I don't think anything that's happened in July or August, bad things have happened to lessen their chances, but I don't think all hope is lost in any way. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm not interested in going back to that decade or 2 decades or however long it really
Two and
was.
a half, yeah.
Like, yeah, it's I'm on this side of the fence now. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt until they show me otherwise. And honestly, when I was at that game and it was like the 13-3, I was thinking to myself, the White Sox look like all those years that we were dealing with the Orioles and we were so hopeful they were going to be better, but like it wasn't. I was like, we don't look like that anymore. So like, like I'm holding out for them.
Did you see that White Sox attendance last week? Google it. They had a game where like
no one
100
came.
people came. No, I mean like literally, like I've never seen anything. I mean, I've seen something like it because we played a game empty here 10 years ago, but like it was.
Did you see the collision the other night?
Yeah, I mean,
I was like, well, that's making the blooper reel.
I felt great for Cage Slim Povich to throw 7 innings, but I'm like, he's pitching against a Double-A team, So hey, we'll have real big leaguers to deal with here in the coming weeks. Got the Yankees, and then of course just big games in October. They have the orange and black over at Far and Daughter. They also have the purple out. No matter the outcome against Kansas City or Las Vegas, weird Las Vegas Raiders. That doesn't roll off the tongue, but Dallas, Buffalo, Cincinnati, all coming. We got Maritime Magic, we got Pearl Jam, we got Springsteen in town next week. My buddies from Styx are here. And please, we always tell everybody, get responsibly educated about the plant, about cannabis, which we try to do that around here. We tried to do that last year with our 25th anniversary. We're going to do that with our Oyster Tour and all, trying to educate everybody about all sorts of things around here, including the harbor. But Wendy, I always appreciate you coming on. And how's the kid's hair? Is it growing out for the Gunnar Henderson thing? I mean, he's not trying to grow like a man stash or anything, right?
He hasn't figured out that could be an option yet. But
is he going to be Gunnar on Halloween? Can you at least say that?
No, he's going to be the demon from Kiss, and he wants us all to be Kiss. So I'm trying to figure out that
he wants to be Gene Simmons.
Yes,
I'll be Peter Criss. I was Peter Criss 77, 78, 79. I was Peter Criss for like 5 years.
Well, I might need to borrow some of the costume pieces you have. That idea has been in play for, I think, since the late spring at this point.
Well, you see my documentary, seen all the rock stars and all that stuff. There was something about me taking an elevator at the Hyatt down in Fairfax to have dinner with Paul Stanley. And they had a show. I was supposed to interview him before the show, but I knew him a little bit. So he's like, just come by, have dinner after the show. And I'm like, okay. So I came by, I'm up in his suite. He had his robe on, his hair, and he was like the nicest guy. And I sat down and I put my little tape recorder between us. And I have the tape. You can go listen to it. It's at Baltimore Positive. I launched it when they did their farewell tour at the CFG Bank Arena, where you were there and rocking and rolling all night and partying every day. And I remember the first thing I thought when I sat and looked at him with makeup off, it was that era. And I thought, Peter Criss was my favorite. I was always a Peter Criss guy. I don't know, and they threw him out of the band in 79. So I felt bad about that. But you're going to be your hair. I mean, to me, you could be a good ace if you want to be. You want to be ace?
I think, yeah, well, I think based on if we go for like true costumes, I think John will be Paul. He'll do Sergeant because he's got to wear that open. That's not going to be for me.
Hairy chest, right? Yeah, I got it.
It seems most appropriate for the baby to be Catman because I mean, what else are you going to
Perfect.
do with
Peter
the
Criss
baby?
is the so do you
Right.
already
So
have that
I
one
become
role?
Ace.
All right.
Yeah, that's where it leaves us. But
All
yeah,
right.
it's I'm trying to figure it out. It feels like a really big crafting project that I'm not sure I have time for, but he's been saying it forever. Yeah.
Rock and roll all night, party every day. See, you
He's
never
a
know where these
big
segments
I
are
was
going.
made for loving you fan.
Well, this was the disco era right
yeah.
here. Ooh, oh, there you go. Wendy Bronfein is here. She is the chief brand officer at Curio Wellness. You'd never know that from our segments, but she is. She's also at the front at Baltimore Positive. We try to educate, inform, and help people in their journey to wellness. That's what they do at Curio Wellness. It's what they do over Far and Daughter. And you can get all the education you need up at faranddaughter.com as well as curiowellness.com. Got to be of the age, but all of you are anyway. Wendy, take care. We'll have more football to talk about next week. We'll have Maritime Match to talk about next week. And Pearl Jam. And I'm in that groove now where I've been listening to Pearl Jam for like 4 days straight. So I'm really, once I got
Getting
the
ready.
tickets, I'm pre-gaming and it's, we're a week and a half out on this. So it's not often that Eddie brings the lads here to our fair hometown, but that'll happen next week. Our friends at Curio Wellness sponsor our 25th and now our 26th anniversary. We're going to replace that cupcake with an appropriate oyster for the oyster tour. Oysters and beer and crab cakes and conversation and football and baseball. We are WNST AM 1570 Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore Positive.